Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which, can be the lenses of our eyes, in which case our own lens can have, regular eyelashes or curly lashes or I like your lashes or I wish I had more lashes. You can see on one eye, I still have lashes. On the other eye, not so much lashes. But at the end of the day, no matter if you have lashes or not, doesn't make a difference. We are all of it and sweet at the end. Hi.
Hi. So today we're talking the final installment of Fallen
Oh my God.
Idols, or actually, what is it? Singing Brothers or Backstreet Brothers or Carter Gang. Nick and Aaron Carter, season 1, episode 4, Silenced and Speaking Out. So, as I said in last episode, this did not need to be 4 episodes. It did not need to be. This one
Yeah.
is it's the same. It's just like a weird roundup of like non-information.
I have not enjoyed this docuseries. It is all over the place in so many different ways. But yeah, I agree. First of all, the title in itself is like an oxymoron. Anyway, so it picks up in beautiful Lancaster, California, which
No. Ah,
no,
Lancaster.
yeah,
That is the thing that was the most shocking to me. It's like he might as well said Victorville or
yes,
like
Sun Val. Oh no, yeah,
like 29 Palms or just like
Bakersfield.
yeah, Bakersfield.
Mm,
Yeah, Barstow. I mean, I don't really know much
Barstow.
about
Well,
Barstow, but like
now
I
we're
can
just on the
only
way to Vegas.
imagine. I could
Yeah.
just yeah, but Bakersfield is past it north, not east. But like I just it is okay. Anyways, let's get past that. I mean, even though that's the
Can
probably
you?
the part of it that we could laugh at the most. No, I just never get over Lancaster. I mean, his house must have been like $134,000. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like those are the only places where you can get houses. I mean, maybe the property value has, I don't know, girl. Like
No.
Lancaster is the place where when they tried to get, excuse my French, niggas out of Compton and Inglewood, they gave them the opportunity and were like, yeah, go up to Lancaster, like go up there off of the, like, what is it, 405 North or whatever that freeway that goes, that's like past the valley. It's like, there's another place up there that starts with a P or something. Anyways, though, like, it's where they send people after they gentrified the area below. It's the same thing with Victorville. Like I remember when everyone was moving to Victorville. Anyways, because the houses were so cheap. All right. So it looks like he was happy and thriving.
That's what the wife says. She's like, Aaron was doing so good. Yeah, he just loved being a father. He was so excited to be a father. He's like doing a lot of videos. We're working on the clothing line, is what she said. And we were like, well, what kind of videos? Are the videos you mean just TikTok videos? Yeah, like he's been doing that. I wouldn't say that's, whatever. But he's happy, that he's going to be a father, she said. And she was just like, in his own childhood, he was just always so tired because they worked him to a bone. So he just was so happy to be a dad and not have to he can like heal through his son being raised. And she even says that there were times in which he'd be so real and play the piano and show people like his music. And I didn't know that he played the piano, and I was happy to see him. Now, it was not like, a lot of things happening in the piano that I was playing, but they're taking whatever footage they have of him from his own TikTok. And at some points when he's showing them around the house, I'm like, who's doing this video? Is this like some weird docu series you guys were doing? Is this like a reality show? Like, because it didn't look like cell phone footage.
I think it could have been her or like whoever was helping him with the, you know, I don't know, some assistant. Anyways,
Well, his assistant, who we'll meet as well, and just I'm like, that girl just drive up to Lancaster every day for her work. Was she living in Lancaster? Anyway, yeah, just wondering.
I just can't get over it. They keep saying. I mean, why didn't they just say like California, like somewhere north of the valley is what they should have put.
Northern Los Angeles,
Somewhere north of the valley, like that's what they should have put. Anyways, Palmdale. That's the other places up there. Palmdale, like it is. It's okay. Anyways, um, so we have images of like the child, Prince. His name is Prince. It's like they all named their kid Prince. Maybe Blanket is on the way. Projected the image of Aaron playing music and being excited to see his dad.
They have a
Um,
weird sorry, I wrote this because
no,
they
just
have
go
a
ahead.
weird sound cue, okay? Where the baby just runs up to this projection and then you just hear, "Bah, bah," like, and it was like, that's not what that baby said. Like, that's not some producer for some reason was like, "You know what we need? We need the baby saying something and just, like, really hit home. Like, just here, do this voice note. Ah, bah." Does that sound like it? No, okay, a little higher. Okay, ah, bah. That was it?
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! That didn't happen. That didn't happen. I work.
We lost we lost
Stop it!
listeners
No.
because of how many times I did that, I know. But the sound that child made, that was not the sound that child made, is what I'm trying to say. Like, that's not a
Oh
natural
my
sound that child makes.
god.
It wasn't that child that made that sound. That's all I have to say about that. I'll let you go.
No, I mean, girl, like whatever happens, he gets sent a can of duster, so people aren't happy to see him happy. They want him to get back on the wagon. They want him to fail and not succeed, and so he knows that. So then there's some shenanigans that occurs, and by the time the baby's 9 months old, both of them lose the baby, and the baby has to go to her parents. And the way she makes it seem is like Aaron lost custody. Bitch, you lost custody too.
Yeah, it was I was like, where were you? Like, does he have custody of you too? Were you lost as well? I mean, that part was she does not say anything about what she was doing or if she had drug use. Everything was like, Aaron was good when he was good, but when he wasn't good, he wasn't good. And then listen, it does sound absolutely toxic because later on they say that there was like a lot of like domestic violence situations, or maybe not. She's like, I had to call the cops on him and then he had to call it on me, but it was fake. And then she's like, they're like, did any physical abuse happen in your relationship? And she says, I don't want to talk about that, which is obviously her choice, but you're also in a docuseries. And this is like the third time someone's not saying or saying something. And either way, this docuseries sucks. At the same time, that weird troll, by the way, like, was so excited when Prince was born. And he just was like, yeah, I have a friend at the hospital. We're going to steal some of her umbilical cord. To do what? I mean, test the child. Who knows? That guy, I
Jesus.
mean, what?
Disgusting.
It's like we shame people on the internet all day long. Like, in this sense, like, we shame, like the people that fuck up, and are mean to someone or freak out in public or something. And I don't understand how we're not publicly outing and shaming trolls like this, in the sense of there's no rhyme or reason for this fucking person to walk around hating Aaron Carter as much as he does. Aaron Carter has done nothing to that person,
This is what I imagine. Aaron Carter was supposed to go to like, up in Jacksonville or Jackson, New York. He was supposed to go to some elementary school. Let's call it like Edward Peabody Elementary. And then he went there for like a couple of days and was super duper popular, but then kept getting pulled out to go to different like tour events and everything. And this guy, Galvin, was one of the kids in the class who was so jealous of Aaron. And like when
Oh.
the guy started to troll Aaron, Aaron had no idea who he was.
No one
And so he was even not troll when he started to like watch his lives, and he's like, "Hey, Aaron, remember it's me from like Peabody Elementary? Remember we used to play tetherball?" And Aaron's like, "Hey, dude, hey, bro, what's up? I'm sorry, man. Nah, I don't remember you." And that is the origin story for Ganval.
Is it bad that I also think there's like a sexual thing involved?
Yeah, it is bad.
Why?
I mean, you asked me.
That's
I gave you my
okay.
answer.
Okay. I just think that to be so obsessed with someone, like, so, like, an obsessive in that way. I'm like, don't you want to be them or eat them or
Oh,
fuck them or
wow.
kill?
This is
Yeah, like,
dark.
if you want to kill
Marry,
someone, you
fuck,
want
or
to.
kill?
Yeah.
No. Okay,
Yes.
let's follow this line of thought. You're right. We'll follow the line of thought. Let's go it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's because it's like, if you have that strong of an emotion to be so obsessed with someone, something about that person does something to you, moves you,
Mm-hmm.
in a mysterious way or whatever. And to be moved in a mysterious way over and over again means something. Now, it doesn't have to mean absolute love, but it could mean that kind of lust hate, you know?
Tell me about the time that you felt that.
Lust hate?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tell me about a time I haven't felt it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like I just like hate someone so much.
Lust
Like, he's
hate.
like, I'm so mad at someone, I'm just like, like, you suck. You aren't giving me what I want from you. You're like, you aren't valuing me. You aren't seeing me. Like, why aren't you like, obsessed with me or whatever it is? I fucking hate it. And I'm going to fuck it
Mm-hmm.
into you. I'm going to
Okay.
fuck my value into you, you
Okay,
know?
I see. I see.
Okay.
A lot of pelvis thrusts
Oh,
is what's
sure.
gonna happen.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, the way she says I don't want to talk about it is like they've been asking her like terrible questions for the last hour. And then this time they're like, "Did he physically hit you?" She's like, "I don't want to talk about it." It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So, anyways, Aaron ended up being terrorized for 3 years by this person named Ganvin. And he, at like one of the last straws, even though he was still like super high, he goes on the show No Jumper, and everyone is like, "Oh, I could tell he was really high." And here's the truth: I there are people in my life currently who are not on drugs who stutter and stammer over their words. So whenever someone stutters and stammers over their words, I never assume they're on drugs, ever.
Yeah, but it's also the way they look and the way that they like act and the way that their eyes look and the way that their head moves and how clear their thoughts are when they actually get to a thought.
I
It's how
guess.
they yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I would never assume somebody's on drugs unless they have that like heroin lean. That's the only indicator to me. And so I'm getting better at it. But they were like, "Oh yeah, we could tell that he was so high in that." And then that was the last public interview he did on No Jumper, and he died shortly thereafter at 34 years old in December of 2022 of inhalation of compressed gas and Xanax. So it looks like it was a combination of Xanax and huffing. So sad. Just like, ooh, God, what a
Yep.
terrible story for him.
Yes, yes.
Then we have a scene of a fan footage of Nick crying on stage because it's the day after and he's touring with the BSBs and he's crying on stage, and the guys go around and give him a hug. And then Jane is still on Facebook talking shit, trying to make Nick feel like it's his fault that Aaron died. And then the sister, Bobby Jean, she dies exactly a year later, December 2023. So this is just this past December. And it's like, well, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, fucking damn.
gee.
Especially because Mo was just talking about BJ, like actually having known her. And then we see a series of mugshots. And so the girl has been through it. Leslie has passed at this point. Aaron passes. A year later, BJ passes, all of the same affliction.
Yeah, I mean, and meanwhile, there is no comment from a parent. I mean, all the in this docu-series, all we get nothing from the dad. And after Aaron dies, we basically still just all we get are Facebook quotes from the mom saying shit between Nick and Aaron, like he didn't love him, like Nick to Aaron, like still being somewhat divisive in the relationship between her sons, which I mean, at that point, you're like, well, you're on fucking drugs. I mean, you know, you seem drunk out of your mind or whatever the fuck it is. Everything is so sad. So, yeah, Nick crying on stage was sad too. However, you know, this docuseries is also about his sexual assault. So, you know, that part also. We actually meet another victim of Nick Carter and Nick Carter's like, you know, whatever, horny appetite.
And
And this
why?
one,
Why do we meet this person now? Why can't we meet this person in episode
I
1
agree.
with
I
Melissa
agree.
and Ashley?
It felt absolutely. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Like
Yeah.
if you already edited the video, unedit it. I'm sorry, go in and add this in. You could do it.
Yes.
You could whoever put in the photos of all the antiquated technology. Did you see that phone? Did you see that
Yes.
black
Yes.
dial phone with the pick it up and put it on your ear? I'm
That
like,
one,
damn,
the clear one.
you're not even getting a good one. You got one from like literally 1992. You didn't even get a phone from 2020,
You're right.
2003. 2003, almost every home phone and even business phones are either the professional looking black ones that are like, you know, one I would have in my office now,
Yep.
or it's a cordless phone. We didn't
Yes.
have fucking those block like 80s phones. Like,
No, they were dead. They were
what
dead.
are you talking about?
Yeah,
It was just horrible. Whoever did this is a Gen Z who has no idea. They're
you're
the
right.
one of those
You're right.
people who when they're like dress 60s and the girl comes like dressed like it's the 70s. You're like, okay, bell bottoms, thank you. But I was thinking of more go-go boots. You know what I mean? Like it's just like where it's now muddled. Like you know, they don't know what technology is early 2000s and what technology is 1995.
I agree with that. Yeah. And when Ashley was calling Angel, they had her doing it on one of those clear plastic phones you had as a teenager, and I just that part was interesting. So basically, now this poor girl named Shay is Mormon, has cerebral palsy, and also was later diagnosed with autism. And she goes to a BSB concert in 2001 at age 17, and then afterward is like, like goes and hangs out afterward where he goes and signs things. And during the signing process, he was like, "Hi, do you want to go to the tour bus?" And she was like, "Sure." So then they go back to his tour bus with like some other people, and or I think they're maybe even alone. And she gets VIP juice, which was red and maybe vodka. We're not quite sure. She said it tastes like cranberry. And then he goes into the bathroom with her and like asks her to get on his knees. And she's like, "What?" And she had just never done any of that. And he pulls out his penis. And then, he does this, he has a whatever, an MO, honey. And the MO is, I eat you
Giving
out,
random girls
you eat
giving
me out.
random girls head.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
random, just like picks him out of the crowd and does it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then was forceful with her, and he threatened her, he grabbed her arm. And so like I guess she had a friend who was there, and I guess there were other witnesses, girl, I don't know, but from her recollection there was nobody else. But the thing is though, she didn't have these memories immediately after it happened. She pushed it all down. It wasn't until years later when Melissa
Yes.
told her, after she got in contact with Melissa, she and Melissa were talking. Melissa was like, they didn't do anything sexual. She said no. And then Melissa was like, okay, well, I think you should go to therapy. And the way that they set this up was low key like, okay, who's producing this? Because this is the first time it felt like the documentary was like turning against Melissa as
Yes.
far as the
Well,
narrative goes. And they made
yes.
the way they make it sound is that Melissa told her to go to therapy to unlock some of the memories of what may or may not have happened to her. And so that feels weird. And so she goes to therapy in 2020 and then is able to get the story put together with support of a therapist. And by December 2022, same month that Aaron passes away, she files a civil suit against Nick for the thing that happened in 2021 when she was 17.
2001. 20,
Sorry, yeah,
2001. Yeah.
2001.
Mm.
And so then, we have Nick, he's denying the allegations. And then for some reason, they choose to tell us that Nick makes a counterclaim against them because Nick and his lawyers have brought together every piece of internet evidence to try to prove that Melissa and Ashley and Shay are co-conspiring to come up with defamation against him. They
Yeah.
saying that they groomed Shay to come say the same things. And normally statute of limitation would make it so that Melissa couldn't do anything in the court of law, but she could do it civilly and as far as like hold him accountable. And
Right.
I guess California recently changed their laws that said that they changed the amount of time of the statute of limitation. So
Mhm.
now she's able to actually sue Nick for his behavior that happened to her in 2003. And so yeah, so we get very little from Nick as far as I'm concerned. I wasn't ever following this in real life, but he does an interview with
Mhm.
Entertainment Tonight, and he's like, you know what, I'm in legal processes right now, but he says he's happy with the way things are going, meaning that he likes the way his legal team is managing it.
Mhm.
And then her legal team tries to get it so that he is unable to countersue, and the judge is like, no, it's okay, he can countersue you for this. And so there's that. I don't know, girl.
Yeah, yeah. Um Basically, yeah, they come, yeah. I don't want to go through all that 92 affidavits, but this docuseries has said it 14 billion times. There's a bunch of paperwork that the lawyers came with, and so all of it's ongoing. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but the docuseries at this point starts to wrap up whatever they decided to like put out in front of us by having people be like, "Well, we're just still doing it," including like various opinions. Like Melissa's still fighting the fight. She's been fighting this fight the whole time. She just wants to stop fighting the fight. She can't wait to feel free. Then you remember there was that one friend of the family. There's like the only
Jen.
people that Jen. So Jen's the friend of the family that I describe as an Alex Borstein-esque sketch character, gender neutral, who is on Nick Carter's side, who's like, I've seen Nick with women and he's fucking great, always great, like he's been great. Now the cousin doesn't say shit. Anyway, of course
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at where we are in the
you like,
notes.
I know, I looked at you because I know that you love the cousin, so I guess that's
The
why I
toothless cousin. Yeah, no, he just I don't remember what he said at the end of this episode. Sorry.
I mean, we're left with, Ashley, Melissa, and Shay, like the victims. We're left with, not really talking to anyone and having final, like, thoughts from. Again, the parents would have been great to like know something about where the parents
Something.
lie in all this, because there's 3 kids dead.
Hmm. Yeah, that shit is wild. It's
Yeah,
like it's wild. It is wild. None of them got to their 40s so far, except for Nick. And
yeah.
he is looking bedraggled. I mean, he has crossed over from like what he looked like to looking like someone different. He looks like somebody. He looks like he has crossed over into old age, into what his old age face is gonna look like.
Hmm. Yeah, he kind of gives me. He, I liked Leonardo DiCaprio. I didn't like Nick Carter, but they kind of
Oh
have
my
a
god.
similar vibe or whatever.
Mm-mm.
Like, even though one seems much hotter to me. Why are you saying "Oh my god" to me?
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio to me is one of
What?
he is so unattractive.
Oh, that's crazy for you to say that. He was when in his prime, like Romeo and Juliet, with those like s- opened Our Lady Guadalupe shirts from Hawaii or whatever the fuck it was. I was obsessed with him. And they have like a similar, like somewhat vibe, but Leo's just like eyes and face or just was like a little more, I don't know, grabbing for me. I don't think Nick looks bad, like from what I assume, or what they keep saying, Nick is sober or maybe sober now or probably sober. And I mean, listen, from what his family history, that would probably be like the thing that will keep him alive. I mean, we're saying this on the day that the Justin Timberlake, the other
The
hot one, the
the
other
he doesn't
hot
even
blonde.
he's not hot anymore either.
I know it, but what I'm Justin Timberlake was the Aaron Carter of NSYNC, right? You do, yes, that's
Yeah,
the
okay.
end.
Okay, yeah.
You can see that? That's enough.
Mhm.
So, as we're talking about Nick and Aaron Carter, what has Justin done today? Wow.
He got a DUI and he had like coke. He had like all manner of things in his system. And the guy who pulled him over, who arrested him, was so young that he didn't even know who it was. And when Justin was like, "Oh my god, this is going to ruin the tour." The guy's like, "What tour?" And he's like, "The world tour."
The world's going on tour? Like,
Like
just
the guy
like,
is just like
Japan's coming here? What do you
no
mean?
idea who Justin Timberlake mug, and everyone's like, "Oh, this mug shot looks terrible," and I'm like, "Listen, it looks as good as it can look for him.
It's
This
not
is
like
an
you're
old, this is an old man. This isn't this is what I mean. But when I say that Nick's face, this is not Nick, this is Justin, but Justin's face has transferred into old man face.
Oh,
Do you
for
see what I'm
sure. I
saying?
I think
That's
Nick
what
is
I'm
probably
saying.
better looking now than
Oh
Justin
no,
Timberlake is.
okay, wait. We just
It's kinda
watched it.
like
You didn't finish watching the end of it where they just see him, Nick
yeah, no, I
Carter.
think you're right. I think that also it sounded like you're about to say Justin Timberlake, which would make me very, very happy. So it sounds like Justin being in like
Oh,
Winnie the Pooh.
oh my gosh. Terrible. Terrible.
I mean, this was again.
Look at
Oh,
the eyes. This is the old man face compared to like I'm just saying it's
it's a
switched
horrible
over.
haircut. Never you're too old for that haircut now, so you
I'm
can't ever
saying
have that haircut again.
I'm saying his face has switched
I'm wondering
over.
why but you know what? He still has hair. I wonder why he still has
Look
such
at this.
thick hair.
When as soon as when he loses his hair, this is think of him
Yes.
with no hair.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
his elderly man
Y-
face.
Yes, you're right.
Okay,
So
great.
once
Thank you.
he's done with his hair, he's gonna look very different, and that's probably
Yeah.
like
He's
his
getting
Sam's gonna.
jowls. He's getting jowls.
Well, we are. I'm gonna get mine fixed.
Well, okay, no one's talking about you, but it's
No,
okay
we
that you
always.
ended up
Everyone is always.
made it around yourself.
Everyone is always talking about me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm starting to get that
Everyone
now
at all. Everyone
at all
always.
time. Yes.
If people are talking, it's about me.
Or yeah, yeah. Okay,
Every
good.
song's
Good to
about
know.
me. Every
Good to
song
know.
about me.
Or Brittany. So it's fine. We now know that's a secret behind Chris. Okay. It said he had a DWI. What does DWI stand for?
Driving
With
driving with influence. Driving without influence.
Driving
Driving
without
while intoxicated. That's what it is.
Oh man, I wanted to continue going. Driving with
Driving
intelligence. Driving
with
without ign- ig-
driving while
intent.
ill.
Driving while ill. Driving while intoxicated. Mm, that is very specific. That man had coke in his system.
Driving
I mean,
while
could you imagine how much you have to do coke to fully have like a wife and two kids and going on tour, and you're just like do a bump and then just like go on the
he
road?
he has never cared about Jessica Biel. Like he honestly was caught like canoodling with someone on one of his dumb shows or stuff like that. Like she for some reason is like a female cuckold for him, and it's really really sad. Unless she's getting it in too, but she
Listen,
just
don't judge their relationship because she wants to be with a very rich man who can
okay.
dance and sing, and she doesn't
Oh,
care if he treats on her. Like, listen, I'm
she
gonna tell you,
okay.
tell
What
you, I'm gonna tell you right now. Do not judge. You
you
better not judge me when I get with the man who cheats on
cheats on
me,
you?
and
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. So let me sink that in. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
upset when you
Mm-hmm.
get with a man who cheats on you.
Uh huh.
Now, is it because will you talk to me about the cheating?
No, not with this reaction.
Good.
Great. But if you find out, don't don't yell at me about it. Because if I'm happy,
Yeah,
if my
I'm
bills are paid and we have an understanding, or we don't have an understanding, but it's okay anyway, because like I can't imagine there's a time where I'm truly in love with somebody and I don't have an inkling of what they're doing. Like I don't know that I could truly ever like okay, here's the opportunity. And this is just me speculating. So those of you who are like, it could happen to anybody no matter what. Okay, girl. Um,
ugh,
what I'm saying is that what's that girl Nina from Ashley Madison? Nia, she got cheated on by her Christian husband, and she
mm,
didn't think anything was up. But what I'm saying is, how much you want to bet
mhm.
that that man worked a lot or was always outside of the house? What I'm saying that if I have a man who just be gone a lot of the times,
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that there may be some hanky panky occurring.
Mhm.
Unless, he if he doesn't work from home, there may be shenanigans afoot.
Are you gonna be fucking him with like other people too?
If I find out. Oh, sorry, I
Oh.
don't know why that popped up. Sorry, get out of here.
And again, you're happy, so you don't ever complain, and he doesn't rub it in your face, and he pays for everything.
Yeah.
Then I won't ever talk about it.
Okay, great. Um, all right, you guys, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for joining
Oh,
us.
are we talking about? We're talking about a docu series. What are we even? Oh my god, I'd rather
God,
just
I'm
talk
so
about
glad you
this.
didn't say something crazy. If you this whole time, it's like for the last 5 minutes, you didn't know what was happening.
Sometimes, just so you guys know, when you're listening to the podcast, know this: we are filming this podcast, if you can imagine, like in a Zoom situation, and sometimes afterward, we, stop the podcast, we keep talking, and so there would be a total inference where you would assume that at some point I would forget that I was recording a podcast and just talking to you.
Yeah,
And
so that's why I'm saying I'm glad that she
do that now.
didn't say something crazy because as soon as we get off, we are different people. As soon as we get off of here, we're like,
Really
yeah,
not. Yeah, we let loose.
okay. Um,
Let's have that moment now. Okay, so if you like what we're giving you, and you want to give us absolutely nothing in return except for some free situations like social media follows and likes, which by the way we'll absolutely take, no worries. You can by typing in at Docu Sweeties on your search bars for Instagram, for TikTok,
search.
Sergeant bars, search bars. It's like Scottish search bars.
Hey, laddie, check
Uh,
the
uh,
search
search
bars.
search for at Docu Sweeties. I can't do it. On Instagram, on TikTok, on X, add a one at the end. It's Docu Sweeties 1. We have a Facebook group, the Docu Sweeties Podcast Facebook group. Or on YouTube. Are you watching us on YouTube? Good. At the same time, if you want to give us $10, we'll take it.
Yes, you could do that at patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month. You get a live every first Monday of the month, plus other goodies. So if you're interested in that, please join us there at patreon.com/DocuSweeties. And so as you listen to the scratching sounds of Chris filing her nails, we will bid you adieu. Bye.